Hi guys, it's Bridget with Zebra Glitter and Nails, Positively Zebra, the daily stripe. And today we're going to do dip nails and then we're going to add a water slide decal on top. Now these water slides are printed on clear, so they're going to be very faint. So a lot of times people will put them over a color or white, something like that. So today we're just going to use I think this is Be Teal with Me, one of our teal colors. So we're just gonna dump that in a cupcake liner. Oh, no. I'm gonna do pour over today. I totally keep forgetting that I just dump it right on there. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is our dip process. So most of you know how to dip, but if you don't, here's how we dip. So I always use pH bond. If you're doing it on a tip, I find that you really don't need to file unless you're shaping. The bond can go right on top. Let that dry. And then while that's drying, we're getting out our liquids. You have a little jar of water ready for your water slide. And then you do need Activate. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this right. I have it in one of our printed 3D holders for liquids. And then you can either do the 2-in-1 today or, yeah, we'll just do our 2-in-1 today. So this is our 2-in-1, so base and dip coat all in one. The formula is a little different than our others, but there we go. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is, I keep wanting to do my nail. And hopefully I have everything in the screen here, but we're going to put our apex. That gives it the natural nail look, guys. So if you do your apex, so you're just putting it down the middle, not getting it on the cuticle. Tap it off. If it's still wet at all, because ours does work really well to where typically you don't need but a couple dips, but that's up to you, what you like. Brush that off. Wow, this one really sticks to our finger, our hand, not us, the silicone that the hand's made out of. Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna go ahead and do another layer of dip base, this time going all the way over the nail, staying away from the cuticle. That's what will cause your lifting and peeling. Wipe that off because we do have color on it. Ours are hard to contaminate, but the color will transfer, so therefore contaminating in that sense. Okay, tap that off. Still just a tad wet, so you can go ahead and absorb some more of that powder by dumping some more over it. And then, oh, that's such a pretty color. Okay, and then our orange stick, which I don't know where I put it. We're not gonna use orange stick today. We're gonna do our middle one. So I love this one. And we do have these for sale on the website. Clean up around your cuticles. That makes it better. In the end, your end result will be better because you're cleaning as you go. And I forgot to do cuticle prep at the very beginning. You wanna push back your cuticles, make sure everything's clean, wash hands before you start, all that. Kind of skip that. Okay, so now we're gonna do, and this I think will be our last base because it looks pretty well covered here, which is what we want. Okay, perfect. And we're gonna go ahead and pour over again, making sure that we get all of it. Okay, good. Now, you will see different people do this next part differently. I'm gonna show you one process. I'm gonna clean that off. Clean around our cuticles. Sounds pretty clean. So if you do your application right, you don't have a lot of cleanup, so which is nice. And then you have a nice clean mani. We're gonna save this, so we're gonna dump that back in our jar. Move our liner. Put this color away. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I have an alcohol pump bottle and a lint-free wipe ready. In a little bit, we'll clean up the hands. It was just so you can see it looks a little better. Okay, perfect. So some people activate here and then do everything, which I would suggest doing your activator at this point, because then if you need to shape or anything, it allows for that. Okay, and some of the water slides will bleed. So there are some people that will put the water slide on here and then activate. That's you want to get the reaction before you do that. So do that at this point. You want to wait 2 minutes. So set a timer on your phone, or if you have a timer, and let that go 2 minutes. And you want to make sure you wait the 2 minutes. I'll go over this again. Your activator has to interact with the base coat and the powder, and there's a chemical reaction that happens. So if that doesn't happen, your dip's not going to last. You're going to have chipping. You're not going to have a shiny top coat. You're going to have white dots in your nails, all sorts of different things that people always want to blame on the powder, the liquids, and it's your application. So just make sure you allow that. Activate 2 minutes, and then at that point, some people wipe with a lint-free wipe, so make sure you have a clean one. I just used it, but I don't have another one handy, so I'm gonna use it again. But after the 2 minutes, you can clean up like any excess. If you happen to have a lot of activate on, or you flooded the nail with the activator, that'll help that too. You do not have to do the alcohol step though. Some people do, some don't. Okay, and now our nails are activated. You're going to do that obviously on each finger. And then when you're done with that, let that dry. Make sure that's dry. We don't want to trap any moisture in there, especially if you're using natural nails. You're going to get moisture up in there, and that could cause greenies and problems. Okay, so at this point, this is where I go ahead and apply the decals. So if you've had to file, buff, or anything, you would need to reactivate, wait the 2 minutes, make sure it's all ready to go. And then this is where I do my water slide. So you're going to cut out and get ready your water slide. Let's see, today we're gonna go with the striped one. So we're just gonna cut it out. Water slides sometimes will have a cutout shape. Usually not. You have to cut it yourself and all that because of the way they're made. They're like those tattoos that, I don't know, I'm old, but some of us have when we were kids, where you just drop it in the water and then apply. So I might not have picked a white enough one for this fingernail, so hopefully I did. If not, we'll switch and do the other ones that are a little thicker. But you want to shape it, or we'll just do an angled one. We can do an angled water slide over part of the nail. So there's so many different ways that you can decorate with water slides. Like I said, this one's printed on clear, so you do want to put it over a color typically, because it's not going to show as much if you don't. So once that soaks, you can get it with your finger or your tweezers if you're coordinated. Okay, needs just a little longer. So you don't want to rip it or ruin it trying to pull it off of there. You're going to get your 2-in-1 ready again. I use this for adhesion. I think it's works really good for that. So that should be about ready. I'm going to get it out and make sure it's ready to go. Okay, so it's ready to come off of there. Now what I typically do is take some of the excess water off, just pat it down on a paper towel, not too hard. You don't want to mess it up like I just did. Don't do that. Okay, so it's ready to slide off of there. And that's why it's called a water slide. So we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of base. Not everyone does this part. I think this helps it work better. So apply that. Pull your water slide off. We're just going to angle it because I think I did not get a big enough one for this, so we'll just cheat, and I might have just totally messed that up, but okay. So we're just going to do this angled tip up here. So you would pat it down, make sure it's on there however you want it. The easiest way to clean up, and we'll do a full coverage one next time. We're just doing a decoration with it. I find the easiest way to do the edges. So you can go in and trim with scissors if you want, like, you know, you can rip off some of it. Be careful because you don't want to pull off your water slide itself. The dip base will help adhere that and hold that while you're getting it ready. But you're going to grab acetone and a little brush. We're gonna put a little tiny bit of acetone in here. This is a dampen dish, and very good way to have your acetone ready so it doesn't eat through any plastics or anything. And then if you can just go around the edges, it will melt or peel off that excess of your water slide. So, and that's all you do, is just kind of hit any areas that you don't want on there. Obviously we don't want all this hanging off. Now I kind of fudged and got a little bit of that, so you need to be careful. But that is that water slide. So then once you get all that cleaned up, and you can check the underneath too, make sure you got all that. And like I said, the acetone helps to kind of melt the edges and pull that off. So you see it's much cleaner now. And then we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna encapsulate in clear. So where did I hide my clear? Here it is. So this is our 244 clear as crystals, which is super popular. I did get a little ripple in mine, so just be careful on your application. I think I did that when I told you I messed it up trying to get it off of there. Oh, that's not. So we have our clear as crystals. There we go. Now it's clear as crystals. And then you're gonna do your same dip steps. So you're gonna go in and you're gonna do your dip base. And then you're going to dip, lay in, whatever your method is, pour over, however you like to do it. And you can do 1 or 2 layers to encapsulate. I'm gonna do 2. So let's see how clear ours is. Once we activate and top coat, it's perfectly clear. You don't have the issues of it showing through or covering up your decal. Okay, and again, close to your cuticles, not covering them. Perfect. Wipe off your brush so you're not getting anything in there. It is clear, so it won't be as big of a deal. And I usually just do it a couple times, make sure you absorb all that. Okay, and then brush that off. Perfect. See how quick you get at doing mayonnaise? I used to be so slow, and now it's like this all the time. So the hardest part for us is this 2-minute waiting. So we're gonna activate. So I do 1 quick and then 1 purposeful layer of activate. Don't flood it. I got way too much on there. So if you flood it, it takes a long time for it to soak in, or you'll end up with ripples in your nails and stuff. So, okay, we're gonna wait the 2 minutes. And during that time, we'll just chat. So then you could, obviously, if you're doing a whole hand, not just 1 finger like we're doing, you're gonna keep that process going on every finger, whatever design you want. So if you're gonna, if you're wanting to do this design here, then you could technically put it over that. You would do it during this step that we did the vinyl, or the water slide, not the encapsulation step. And then you would encapsulate over all of it. But it gives it a totally different look depending on what water slides you use. This one's a really pretty dainty spring one that has like kind of a rainbow, which we use the edge of that, or the bubbles, different things. So water slides can come in all shapes and sizes, and they are a lot of fun. So I think at the 2-minute mark, I forgot to set a timer. Timers are great if you're impatient like me. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe with an alcohol prep, or a lint-free alcohol wipe. Just used my pump bottle and pumped it right on. And then make sure that dries. We don't want to trap moisture. And then we're top coating and ready to go. And that's it. Okay, so you get the idea. And that way you can do all sorts of designs made and all that with water slides. And just encapsulate, make sure you have your cap it off, cap your tip off, cap the sides off, your sidewalls, and then close your liquids up so they don't dry out. And that's it. And that's a water slide application at a diagonal. So you can see where I didn't get it all the way down. I got too much of it off with the acetone or didn't cut it right. So just be careful of that, because obviously you'd have to fix that. You don't want that on your actual nail. But anyways, that's how to do a water slide on a dip nail and encapsulate and clear. Thanks. Thank you for checking in with Positively Zebra, the Daily Stripe. This is Bridget.